Hey everyone, this is Dova N7. I'm here to talk about the differences between a Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 quality build. So I have them pulled up here on their respective character planners since Muju Monkeys seems to not be completely made yet, so everybody's using game hubs. But the Dark Souls 1 quality build that I always like to run was full Elite Knight, Ring of Favor Protection and Havels for that light roll, Crest Shield, Longsword, Dagger, Composite Bow, and I was still level 125 with 50 vitality, 8 attunement, 40 endurance, 40 strength, 40 dex, 11990. Um, and I guess I usually ran 99 humanity. But this build was exactly what I liked in Dark Souls 1, and it was only still level 125. It had 1800 HP, which was just perfectly fine. It was actually a little bit more than normal, like you could make do with only a 1500, which was without Rofap, that's how much you had. The stamina was good for getting in a lot of hits. You had just enough for a light roll using Ring of Favor Protections and Havels. Elite Knight Armor was actually good defense. Crest Shield had good blocks, Longsword had good damage, Dagger had good damage, Composite Bow had good damage. So this was my Dark Souls 1 quality build. And then this is me trying to recreate it in Dark Souls 2. So it's a bit all over the place. It seems like Dark Souls 2 relies a lot on the ring slots. They added two more ring slots and they just like made the stats all weird. So the Ring of Blades and Flins, those are both needed to get the same AR on a longsword. This longsword AR is 400 and, well, let's see, 225 plus 181, that's 300, 406. This is 406 damage on this longsword. This longsword had 408 damage with just the stats. Now this longsword takes two rings to get that damage. And then the Spirit Tree Shield in this game is basically my equivalent of the old school Crest Shield, but it actually sucks. So, and then the Composite Bow is actually it's good in this game, and the Dagger is really good in this game. But Elite Knight Armor, so it gives you 600, 500 to 600 defense across the board. In Dark Souls 1, it gave you 300, 400, 400, 400. But the thing is, that was a lot better than it is in this game. It seems like Elite Knight in Dark Souls 2 is just not that good, whereas it was actually pretty good armor in Dark Souls 1. And that tells you a lot about how physical defense is worth a lot more in Dark Souls 2, so you have to stack it. Also, this build that I have right now only has 35 vigor, and this one had uh, what was it? 50, 50 vitality, and they have almost the same exact health. But the thing is, 1800 health in Dark Souls 2 barely feels like you have any health at all. You can still get two-shot killed, which only happened to against the most extreme of buffers in Dark Souls 1. But so this Dark Souls 2 build has 35 vigor, 30 endurance, 16 vitality, which is just enough with these two rings put on to get under 50% roll, which is what I like. I like to be under 50% roll because you get the distance, and I feel like it's kind of cheesy to run like 69% roll and still be able to roll extremely fast. I miss the old system of medium, light, and heavy rolls. 40-40 strength and dex, which is really just there because that's what I like to do. I don't even think it's that good, but I'm not going to change because that's the way I like it. Attunement and Int and Faith are all 5. Adaptability 32, so that's something. The That gives me 105 agility, which 13 has 13 iframes. 13 iframes is what you got with a light roll in Dark Souls 1. So I ran light rolls in Dark Souls 1, so I run 105 agility in Dark Souls 2. Poise doesn't matter in Dark Souls 2, and in Dark Souls 1, I would have had 46 poise, which was actually really good. Um, Not the 53 poise that everyone loved, but still, it was decent. Uh, so yeah, this is each build in their respective games. The Dark Souls 2 version is 30 levels higher, and honestly, I think it's really bad. I don't like my play style anymore. I played over 1,000 hours on this kind of build in Dark Souls 1, and then you get to Dark Souls 2, and this kind of build. My longsword hits 100 damage on people. I get two-shot killed. It just doesn't feel like you're the knight character that you used to be able to play in Dark Souls 1. But I don't know why I made this video. I just thought it would be a thing to show people that the Dark Souls 1 equivalent of a Dark Souls 2 build is way better and 30 levels lower. Um, to make this like this is the equivalent, but I think there would be like more of a spiritual equivalent, which would have like 2200 HP, because that would be like 1800 from Dark Souls, and Elite Knight armor would not be the armor I would choose to like be the same tankiness as it was in Dark Souls 1. And the longsword, I'd probably switch that up to a Drake Keeper or a Sun Sword to get the type of damage I felt from Dark Souls 1. But yeah, basically my Dark Souls 1 build is extremely nerfed in Dark Souls 2. I love both games, I will say that, but I miss Dark Souls 1. Um, with the addition of Flynn's Ring and some patches that they've done, this game is getting closer to what I would love to see it be, but as it is now, it is still a little ways off. But I have high hopes for it getting better. We'll see. I'm hoping that all the people that quit will eventually have a reason to come back to Dark Souls 2, and then we can have the community we once did. So, this is my stupid little video. I hope you enjoyed.